Hello everyone, I am Rose Aban and welcome to my class. How are you today? I hope that you're feeling great. By the way, our topic for today is all about outcome-based education or OBE and assessment. Now let us first unlock the definition of OBE. What is outcome-based education or OBE? OBE is education based on outcome. It may refer to immediate outcome or deferred outcome. Now, what is the difference between immediate outcomes and deferred outcomes? Immediate outcomes are competency skills upon completion of a lesson, a subject, a grade or year, a course or subject, or a program itself. Examples are ability to communicate in writing, reading, speaking, and solve mathematical problems. On the other hand, as cited by Navarro 2019, deferred outcomes refer to the ability to apply cognitive, psychomotor, and affective skills and competencies in the various aspects of the professional and workplace practice. Examples are success in professional practice or occupation as evidence of skill and career planning, health and wellness, and continuing education. Navarro's explanation of outcomes is synonymous with OBE Spady's version. For Spady, transformational OBE is concerned with long-term and cross-curricular outcomes that are related directly to students' future life roles, such as being a productive worker or a responsible citizen or a parent. In short, in transformational OBE, learning is not significant unless the outcomes reflect complexities of real life and give prominence to the life roles that learners will face after formal education. That is why it is necessary in transformational OBE that learning outcomes should comprise the knowledge, understanding, skills, and attitudes that learners should acquire to enable them to reach their full potential and lead successful and fulfilling lives as individuals, as a member of a community, and at work. So, since I know that OBE's previous version is now clear to you, so let's proceed to outcome-based teaching and learning, or OBTL Biggs version. In OBTL's Biggs version, the essence of OBE is applied in a teaching learning process. OBTL is where outcomes are statements of what we expect students to demonstrate after they have been taught. So simply put, that OBTL is concerned on the learning outcomes. How can a teacher would know if his or her students have shallow or deep understanding about the lesson? Of course, through assessment. And it is clear that the perfect assessment that a teacher should use is summative assessment, because summative assessment is an evaluation about the learning of the students. It is where the teacher could test how shallow or deep the students understood the lesson. To summate it, simply remember that OBTL Biggs version define outcomes as learning outcomes which are more specific than institutional outcomes, program outcomes, and course outcomes. I hope that OBTL is now clear to you, so let's move on to the different levels of outcomes, or shall I say the outcomes in different levels. So there are 4 outcomes in different levels. The first one is institutional outcomes, graduate attributes. The second is program outcomes. Third is course outcomes, and last is learning outcomes. Institutional outcomes are drawn the graduate attributes that graduates of the institution are expected to demonstrate after graduation. Others claim that the graduate attributes are likewise drawn from the program outcomes. The program outcomes are outcomes that graduates of the program are expected to demonstrate at the end of the program. So as you can see, program outcomes and institutional outcomes are more likely similar. Next is course outcomes. Course outcomes are the particular subject outcomes. And lastly, learning outcomes are the most specific outcomes that the teacher is concerned within his or her specific lessons. So I guess I have clearly discussed to you the four different levels of outcomes. Now let's proceed to the principles of OBE cited by Spady in 1996. Same as the different levels of outcomes, there are also four principles of OBE. The first one is clarity of focus, the second one is designing down, third one is high expectations, and the fourth and last one is expanded opportunities. So let us now discuss it one by one. First to discuss is clarity of focus. Clarity of focus simply means that outcomes which students are expected to demonstrate at the end of the program are clear. Next is designing down. Designing down means basing the details of your instructional design on the outcomes, the focus of instruction. The third one is high expectation. High expectation is believing that all learners can learn and succeed, but not all in the same time or in the same way. Not all learners can learn the same thing in the same way and in the same amount of time, but all are capable of mastery and meaningful learning. Some learners may need more time than the others, so it is true because each of us has different strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, teacher must provide expanded opportunities for all learners. Expanded opportunities is the fourth principle of OBE, which happens to be the most important principles because most learners can achieve high standards if they are given appropriate opportunities. Out from the given principles of OBE, we could easily determine that OBE is anchored on the premise that all learners are teachable. It stresses that no learner should be left behind in learning. I guess we are now in the last part of our discussion, which is the constructive alignment. Constructive alignment is Big's term of designing down as given by Spady. It is a process of creating a learning environment that supports the learning activities that leads to the achievement of the desired learning outcomes. In the context of assessment, constructive alignment also means that the assessment tasks and the specific criteria as basis of judgment of students' performance are aligned to the intended learning outcomes. This is the concern of the scores on assessment, that the assessment tasks are aligned to the learning outcomes. So as you can see down below, there are three boxes. That three boxes represented the aligned curriculum model. So the first one is the intended learning outcomes of the curriculum. The outcomes are formulated first. From this, the assessment criteria are developed. The second one is the assessment regime. Once an appropriate assessment regime has been designed, activities are organized that will teach the students who to meet the assessment criteria and hence the outcomes. The third box is the teaching and learning activities. What the teachers does and what the students do are aimed at achieving the outcomes by meeting the assessment criteria. This takes advantage of the known tendency of students to learn what they think will be assessed and is called backwash. And that's the end of our lesson for today. I hope that you learned something from me. If you have some questions and queries, you can contact me in my cell phone numbers on Smart 090757366661 and on Dito 0992481789. And also, you can contact me on Gmail at rosabanhainar138 at gmail.com. Thank you and God bless us all.